Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have a very special video for you guys today. We're gonna pick and cook one of these guys right here. So a very special and easy bottle gourd recipe for you guys today. Now if you've seen some of the videos on my channel, you know that I love growing bottle gourd, and I'm always talking about eating bottle gourd. Eat bottle gourd this, bottle gourd that. So today I'm going to show you a quick and easy recipe. I myself, I'm no cook, but I know that if I can do this recipe, so can you. So stay tuned and watch the rest of the video so we can get to the recipe. But first, I did want to show you a couple updates in my garden recently. Now these are some of the cabbages that I planted on an earlier video. As you can see, we're having some pest problems. Unfortunately, those cabbages are being attacked by cabbage loopers or cabbage worms, and that's one of the pests that I didn't really cover in my last pest control video. But stay tuned and stay subscribed so that you can see my upcoming video on how to take care of that problem. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and check out my other video on the pest control methods that I implement in my garden and some of the most common things that I encounter. So if you're dealing with any kind of pest pressure in your garden, check those videos out, and I think you might find them helpful. The fall seedlings are doing really good, and you can kind of see through the netting fabric that I have here. Everything's nice and protected. I'm not having a lot of bug damage or anything. One of the Swiss chards does have some damage to it, but I don't know how that's possible because nothing else is damaged. So I don't know if some grasshopper got into here or something and started chewing that somehow. And also good news, you guys, my cherry tree seems to be doing really well where it's at. And I haven't noticed any signs of shock or issues at all just yet. I'm very excited to say that it looks very healthy and happy here in that spot. Oh, and also look at this beautiful banana tree of mine. It's really loving the milder temperatures. Although banana trees can tolerate hot and humid, that's where their natural climate is, but it's doing really good. It's gonna have to be brought inside for the winter, of course. And just look at all those gourds just hanging from my trellis. These right here are snake gourd, and those are the bottle gourd. So things are doing pretty good here in the high desert garden. I hope you guys will continue to watch and follow along as we complete the season. And if you look right above me, we're gonna get those beautiful bottle gourds today and the rest of a couple of ingredients that we'll need for our quick recipe. Now I'm gonna go and pick both of these, but I'm only gonna cook like half of one because they're pretty huge. Another thing is, the younger you pick your gourds, the more tender they will be in cooking. Because most gourds, as they grow larger, they tend to get a little bit more fibrous and tough. So if you want some tender gourds, then it's definitely advised to pick them early. We're also going to need tomatoes. I'm going to leave this tomato on the vine to ripen a little bit more. You could certainly pick it now. There's a tomato way up here. And just look at this huge tomato plant, you guys. This is probably the tallest tomato that I've ever grown. And I have another one on this side as well, just as tall, and still popping out tomatoes, which is really cool. We're also gonna need some chili peppers. So I'm gonna get a variety of some greens and some reds. It's so nice to have these chili pepper plants, you guys. I don't even remember the last time that I bought chili peppers from the Asian store this year. And the taste of your own homegrown chilies, there's nothing else like it. Okay, now that we've finished grocery shopping at my little Asian store, i.e. my little desert garden, let's go inside and let me show you this quick and easy recipe. So for this recipe, you'll need a bottle gourd. Now, if you don't have a bottle gourd growing in your garden, try checking out your nearest Asian store or Indian supermarket, and you should be able to find one. A tomato, an onion, chili peppers, and cilantro. Also some garlic and some shrimp, which is optional. And for the seasonings, you guys, all you need is a tablespoon of sugar, turmeric powder, and salt. Now, the quantities of these ingredients are flexible, you guys, based on your personal preference. This recipe is my mom's recipe, and she never cooks with any measured out ingredients. Everything is basically done by taste. After washing and cleaning my hands and all the vegetables, I'm getting started by dicing up the onions and the tomatoes. These garlic cloves are already peeled and ready to go, and I'm just giving them a rough chop. Also roughly chopping up the cilantro, as well as my hot chili peppers. Again guys, do this to your preference. If you don't like your food as hot, you can always go less on the chili peppers. I have some shrimp here that are peeled and deveined. Now you don't have to use shrimp, you guys. You can use any protein you like, or if you want to make a vegetarian dish, just skip it altogether. Now I'm going to show you how to prepare the bottle gourd, guys. It's super easy. I'm only going to be using half of this bottle gourd because it's pretty big and I don't need all of that. I am so excited to show you guys the inside of this bottle gourd. Look at that fresh, meaty, supreme gourd. I'm chopping off the stem, and now I'm going to cut this into quarters lengthwise. Look how juicy this thing is. I like to peel it after I chop it into quarters. It just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to get all the quarters peeled off. You guys have no idea how excited I am to share this recipe with you, and I really do hope that you try it because it's so delicious. The next step is to go ahead and slice the gourd down the middle like this. Now if this gourd was any older, you wouldn't have this part right here, and it would be a lot tougher to cut. So this is the perfect stage for cooking. I'm just going to give each of these a nice chop about this size. And I'm going to repeat the same process with my other pieces. As you can see here, the seeds at this stage of growth are completely edible and tender. Look at all this food, you guys, and this is just half a gourd. Now I have a pot here that is warming up on medium high. Once it's warm, I'm going to pour in some oil. You can use any kind of vegetable oil. I'm using about maybe 4 tablespoons. After that heats up a bit, we like to toss in our salt at this step. I'm reserving a bit of it because we're going to salt it as we taste. Tossing in the garlic, and we're going to let that saute for a couple of minutes. Once it's kind of golden brown and toasted at the edges, we're going to throw in our onions. Cook these for a couple more minutes until they're a bit translucent. Then we're going to go ahead and throw in the chili peppers. And at this point, you guys, you are going to have such a fragrant aroma that's just going to really work up your appetite. And look how beautiful and colorful everything looks right now. And it's about to get even more colorful because I'm throwing in all of my turmeric powder. There's so many health benefits to turmeric powder, you guys. It is a must-have for this dish. This is the point where I'll add the shrimp, and I'm just going to let all of that saute for a little bit. Look at that beautiful color. I had a little bit of a technical problem with the video here, you guys, but I've added in 2 cups of boiling hot water, and this is the point where I'll add my diced tomatoes and all of my bottle gourd. Now that we've added a bunch of stuff, it is important to taste it at this point, and mine needed a little bit more salt. I'm going to throw in the sugar as well, testing and tasting as I go, and mix it all in. Still on medium high. As it starts bubbling up, I'm going to cover it and let it sit for about 15 minutes. "15 minutes later, and it looks like a lot is happening. Look at that gorgeous dish. I'm going to go and give that a good stir. And at this point, you want to check your bottle gourd to see if it's tender by pushing it against the pot and just pushing it with your spatula. Looks good. And finally, I'm going to garnish with that fresh cilantro. Now, does that look appetizing or what? Perfect stew or curry or soup, whatever you want to call it, for the cooler months, and any month to be honest. I'm I'm not going to be able to explain how good this tastes and smells, you guys. You're just going to have to try it out for yourself. A beautiful, hearty, wholesome, and healthy meal from garden to table. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for staying through the whole video and watching the recipe. I tried to keep this recipe as simple as possible so that even beginners could try it out. And if you aren't growing bottle gourd and you want to try this out, you can usually find bottle gourd at your local Asian store or Indian supermarket. Check it out and see if you want to try this recipe. This recipe goes really well with white rice or any other kind of staple. You could eat it with bread, you could eat it as a stew, or even with tortilla. It's an amazingly delicious Bangladeshi bottle gourd recipe. We also call it lauki. But anyways, try this recipe out. Let me know how it goes. But I do hope you'll try it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you on the next one.